Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's the final countdown. Crypto reversal is definitely near, and we got some very important signals we got to pay attention to because the things are about to get spicy coming into the middle of July. And we got some very, very, very important things that we have to pay attention to. I'm not sure if you heard everything I said there, but final countdown is in for this crypto reversal. And the question is going to be, are we going to get a pump up, chop back down, and then go? Or what is happening? Let's talk about it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's get this going. I don't know what happened to my camera. Let's get this back on. So, what is going on with everybody here today? I'm getting the camera back up. I'm not sure what's going on with it. There we go. Market is just chopping us out. The camera is messing with us, but we got to talk about this move happening in Bitcoin because this is feeling scary. What is this? This is this breakdown coming down on all the different charts I have looking at what's going on here. And look at where these wicks completely overshot this trend line. Bulls eating it right back up, right into the zone. Right on. I mean, look at this trend line. It has been holding beautifully so far. This does not mean that it cannot get broken down a little bit further and move a little bit lower on the charts. But when we look at this, currently, considering everything going on in the markets, considering that the altcoins, look at this sell-off right here. I mean, this is on a 2-hour chart, about a 4% sell-off on the TOTAL3, which is basically all those altcoins out there. But this is looking like it's consolidating in a range. What I'm really seeing on this, on the altcoins, we have a low, a lower low, and then a higher low, a couple higher lows here. We're flirting. We've kind of flirted with the price action actually having a lower low here. But if we're considering candle bodies, especially looking at the 4-hour, we are still maintaining that higher low posture with a little bit of a fake out so far. But we got to pay attention to what's going on. But welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Kelly Kellum. We got some really big charts we got to pay attention to today. Something that kind of cleared up, positive signal. So hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's get into it today. How are you all feeling? How are you? How's your charts looking? How is your portfolio feeling? Are you scared? Is it bothering you? It's okay. If you're a little worried right now, let us know. Be worried. Let's be worried together. The bigger worry you're going to have is when you're not confident in what your strategy is, when you're not confident about what may happen. And also, if you're potentially a little overexposed to the market. Feels like manipulation. It says right here, why does this always go so small? I don't know. Feels like manipulation. BlackRock still still buying, German selling on open markets. Something seems afoot. Well, we're at a very interesting spot in the market. Very interesting spot in the market cycle. And we've got to be cognizant that this market's doing everything it possibly can to absolutely just try and wreck shop on what we're doing here in the market. So when we zoom out here on the chart and we notice, where is it at? There we go. Well, we notice that we just have this giant pennant that has been forming. We have a couple different charts drawn out here. Remember, we also had this falling channel with this rising level of support that we've been trying to hold. And on this chart, it shows we've actually lost a little bit, but we're in this kind of purgatory zone. Let's kind of double click here. But we're really watching this $65,000 mark when the price goes up. We have to consider if this does bounce. This is a very important zone. We've been talking about this the last few days. Now, where we're at right now, we got to look a little bit more. Let's actually put it on this. We got to look a little bit more. I don't want to say bearish, but we have to consider what happens if we do lose this low right here, 58,449 to be specific, the low of this wick here. We may be signaling that we may be having a little bit more of a washout. And look at these order blocks right in here, the one right here that we bounced on already. But if we come down into the zone and lose this, I'm watching for a pretty significant movement likely if we come down and lose this $56,000. This is when we go down to that 53K mark, which essentially is where this previous sort of consolidation zone was before the next break to the upside. There's so much on the line right now because the big market players that are in the market now, and we're getting an increase in adoption of these larger players, wealthy folks, smart traders, long-term investors, ultra wealthy, sovereign funds, pension funds, state funds, institutions. And the more of those big players get involved, especially with the market cap the size that it is, the more bullish this is in the long run. But there's a great possibility for some washouts that could scare the life out of you. Robert King says, I hope it drops more. Again, I don't know why this always is so stupid like that. There we go. I hope it drops more. I have dry powder, 52K. How many of you guys want, everybody throw a 1 in chat if you want 52K. Throw a 2 in chat if you're tired of this sideways and downward price action and you're ready for it to rip. There's no wrong answer here. It's all going to be determined by dry powder you have available, but also your patience level, but also, you know, just what you want with the market right now. There's no wrong answer, but don't let your bias and what it is you feel like you want change how you're interacting with the market. You always need to plan up. You always need to plan down. That way you have a good idea of what's going on. And Ryan O'Ligny says, I just keep what feels like the dumb thing and keep buying the dips. Stupid smart, okie dokie. Well, you know what? I think in time, in the very near future, we are going to see that reversal. We are going to see that move to the upside, but we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared that it might be up and down. It might be down and up. Point being is we might get some sideways price action. If we turn off the BitLab volume here, let's go ahead and delete this line as well. Delete this little mark here. We very well may get price action trading sideways for a little bit longer. Remember, when we come down here, we look at what happened last summer. We had this large move up, down, move up, consolidation back down. Very similar shape, not exact, but very similar shape to what we saw last summer. I pointed this out a couple weeks ago, and now a lot of other people are starting to point this out as well because it's becoming more obvious. But we have to be prepared that this doesn't just have another move up like this and then, you know, up and sideways or whatever it is. If we come over to this chart right here, we could see, not that chart, this chart right here. Let's go to the daily. We very well could get a move back up, back down, chop sideways, you know, and then continuation up. We also may get a little move back down, chop and work our way back up, you know, and then continue to go to the upside. The reason why we have to be prepared for that is when we consider what's going on with Mt. Gox, about their schedule. You know, they're going to be dispersing across several different exchanges across several different times over the next 4 to 6 weeks. And that could cause this price action to have, you know, this sort of zigzag washout whipsaw effect where we get the price action actually moving to the upside. Like right now we've come into this, get potentially another move down, move back up, maybe even go above this, and we get another dispersion, come back down, you know, and then finally settle, and then we get the move up, rejection, find support, flipping this line right here, and then have that continuation of the upside. But all things, no matter if it's, you know, a couple weeks or months sideways, if it's down, then back up, whatever it is, the end result we've seen in every case on Bitcoin post-halving is some chop, and then eventually the resolution of very strong bullish price action. Remember that when you're considering, you know, the smaller time frames that are frustrating the hell out of you. Because when we look what's going on with Bitcoin, with the crypto market, we're still over a $2 trillion market cap. 2.23 trillion. The other day, we finally broke just above 2.3 trillion, and we fell back down over the last couple of days. And we're seeing some of the data I shared yesterday with those large wallets dispersing the 7 to 10-year-old Bitcoin. But when we're looking at this, if we go on the 7 days, for instance, Cash is up 18%, ZK Sync is up 15%, ENS up 12%, Oasis 9%, which this is Rose, Multiverse X 7%, Polkadot up 4%. Now when we go to the 24-hour period, we are seeing on, BitTensor had a pretty big drop. Lido, DAO had a pretty big drop. WIF had a pretty big drop. So we're kind of in a chop zone. We're in that intermediary area that really is doing the work to chop people out that are not being patient. John Manning, shout out to you. Dallas Cowboys all day. I grew up as a Cowboys fan. All the way back, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irving, Moose, all the folks. What do we see right here? It says, all right, Ryan Oligny says, hey, only Kelly can say my name right. Tom and George always mess it up. Well, how else would you say it? Oligny? I mean, I don't know. I did a lot of reading when I was studying anthropology at Columbia University, so I had to learn. Hopefully I'm still saying it right. Ryan Oligny. Let's see who's got the... Throw a 1 in chat if you think you have the hardest name to pronounce. Let's see if I can get it. I'll go back and do that here in a second. Shout out Dave Middleton. Got 54 people in the room. Light flow day today. They're probably still doing the Q&A over there on Discover Crypto. But, oh my God, we are doomed. Well, I don't think we are, and here's why. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's get into what we got to talk about here. BlackRock applying for a Sol ETF in July. I made the move. I haven't announced it yet in the Discord, but I'm going to for the BitLab members, whether you're a member here on YouTube or in the BitLab Academy Discord. I picked up something yesterday, and this may give you an indication of what that is, but I'll be announcing that in there. Long time staunch opponent of it for a long time, but we may be seeing BlackRock setting up a couple different steps that they've been doing, a couple moves that they've been making are starting the process that looks like they're setting up to potentially do a, Solana spot ETF. Now, this was supposed to be all the way back here, as you see, but I forgot to close this down. But so you get that story first. How many of you out there are Solana holders? Are you still on the fence about it? I know DZ yesterday, the Discover Crypto channel, just did something about the path or the possibility for Solana to $1,000. Well, let's look at Solana and realize, I mean, you might feel like you missed the boat, but Solana is still very undervalued. The market cap of Solana is still extremely lower compared to where, for instance, Ethereum, 396, basically $400 billion market cap. Solana is 65 billion. If we get a lot of institutional capital flow into Solana, considering this has so much more room to grow, and it might be that next evolution of technology, some people would argue, then there's a very real possibility. And there's not an exorbitant amount higher. I mean, there is quite a bit more circulating supply. But Taco pointed out yesterday, for those of you that watch DGen Alpha, how many of you watch DGen Alpha, which is a show right after this we pushed to with Taco? He pointed out with all the meme coins that are on Solana. Here we go. Let me do this. With all the meme coins that are on Solana, it's not a terrible, complete degenerate thing. When you think about the functionality of what those meme coins provide in terms of the circulating supply and also liquidity on chain, because of all these meme coins, because of the liquidity pools for those different meme coins to be traded on the various DEXs and the different trading bots and so on and so forth, there's a ton of liquidity. Even if a project rugs, it is terrible for anybody that's involved with the rug, which is why you always need to trade smart, buy smart, don't throw your whole life savings in it. But when you're considering Solana as an asset, could it get to $1,000? There's so much more circulating supply than Ethereum. But because of all these meme coins that are on there and all this liquidity that's getting locked up and in some cases burned, it's actually made Solana functionally deflationary. So this is a consideration we have to think about of, is Solana a great investment? Also considering the fact that so many institutions and corporations and VCs are eyeing Solana in addition to the fact that we will likely have many more and in addition to the fact that we'll also have many more Solana ETF applications be put in. My eyes on Solana. What about yours? I had to make a little short there in the middle of the stream because it is true. There's so much going on within this ecosystem and so much liquidity that's been trading on that on a daily basis. So even look at this. Solana, $2.7 billion. BNB only had 1.7. Now Ethereum, look at this, all the way up here at 13 billion. So as these markets progress and the bull markets progress, we want to pay attention to where there is activity, where there's community, where there's institutional interest, where there may be, those different capital channels that get potentially get added, like we saw with the Bitcoin spot ETF. and as more regulations clear up or become more clear as those things become approved and more clear. I'm still bullish, but I will definitely start taking profits at 500. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart, Seth. And he also says he prefers Solana over ETH. How many of you don't hold Solana and you think you never will? That's okay too. We all have a different investment thesis. So let's get back into what we want to talk about, because Solana, yes, I meant to do that story later, but it popped up first. But we got to talk about why the price went down. I brought this up on the stream the last several, all the way Monday, Tuesday, talking about looking here. If we zoom in, where is it at? BTC Futures. We talked about this zone, right? You can see the box that I got on there. Boom, 4-hour chart, double click. And this is that zone. This was the ETF we talked about on Monday's stream. Who was here? Monday's stream. I did a stream that said double trap. This double trap was specifically about the price action likely pushing up, trapping people long that are getting so hyped up, and then reversing on them and coming back down, likely overshooting to trap people short, and then potentially resolving back to the upside. This was even substantiated further with this gap that was formed on the CME futures. So when we're looking at Bitcoin and we see this on the US dollar, not the futures, but we see this on the US dollar, we had the downtrend resistance. Rejection, rejection, rejection. We have broken out. In addition to breaking out, what do we usually look for? We want to see where the bulls come back in when the price does come back to test the strength, the resolve of the bulls. Well, it's come down. And currently, as we just mentioned at the beginning of this stream, you sacre bleu. There we go. We can see on the 4-hour chart, the bears tried to bring this down. Bulls ate it back up. Bulls and bears, look at this zigzag. This is basically a spinning top. We have, look at this, 11 minutes left for this candle to close. This is the potential reversal candle. When you have the equal narrative of bulls and bears, and look at this, it's right at this, fairly established trend line that we've had here bouncing on. We had a little overshot here, but then support here. And then right now, we kind of have a deciding factor. Are we going to take a little bearish spill and trap some more shorts, or are we going to go up? Well, let's continue on looking at this, because Titan of Crypto suggests that we do a move something like this, which is basically he took a fractal from another price spot in the chart. But we see if we can find support in this region and also maintain these higher lows, that we stand to reason that we may start pushing back up. I don't know if we're going to push up from here all the way to 72. We're going to have to pay attention, because we're in an ultimate chop zone right now with Germany selling, with the slight rotation negative outflows on ETFs at the moment, when also the Mt. Gox uncertainty. We have to deal with certainty and uncertainty in this market. That's how we can help predict what this narrative focus is going to be, bullish or bearish. So then when we move on to this, we also see that Bitcoin trend does, if it does, or when it does reverse bullish, it's going to melt the bearish souls, because there's $12 billion worth of short liquidations that are above us between where we're at and $70,000. These are all different shorts. And why, if you're wondering, why could there be short liquidations at all these different zones? Because people have, one, shorted from different price points, whether it's 65,000, 70,000, 60,000, 59,000, which we just tapped down into. But they're also doing it at different leverage metrics, whether it's 1, 1.5, 2, 3, 5, 7, 20, 30x. So all those give different bands of margin that the price can move in before the trade is forced close. And a forced close of a short is a forced buy in the market. So we got to pay attention to that. Now we can also see by the fear, if this is the case, are we going to get a move back down into the red? Let me go ahead and take my face off so you can see the other half of the chart. Where is it at? Now, I think you should still be able to hear me. But you see these dips down in the red. I just want you to notice these dips way down in the red are in a bear market. This is a little mini, midterm time frame bear market, but very deep in the red. This is the global economic shutdown, deep in the red. But once we pass the halving, this is where the halving was this cycle. Once we pass the halving, This dipped pretty deep into the orange, or about halfway into this orange, you see, and then reversed. About halfway into this orange and then reversed. Not only the fear and greed metric, but also the price action didn't push down any further. And now we've established a bull trend as effective of right here. And on this establishment of the bull trend, we have not dipped down into the red yet. So are we waiting for a real big washout? Or does this look like it's getting into the zones that have seen price action reversal each time? This didn't even get that deep. And then right here, this was the, sort of doldrums before the ETF application announcement from what do you call it? BlackRock, which was somewhere right in here. And then we had this sort of consolidation. Look at this big kind of fear dip. And then we started getting that really strong speculative buying into the ETH approval. Sorry, the Bitcoin spot approval. The subsequent sell the news sell-off. Smart buyers bought this dip or didn't sell. And then we saw this next very large move up to $74,000. And now on this consolidation, look at how much higher price is here. How much higher price is, while at the same time, price is so much higher. And look how scared people are. What's the purpose to be scared right now? The biggest thing I'm scared about is, oh my God, I might have to be patient a little longer. That's it. That's the downside risk in Bitcoin. Can I be patient a little longer? Do you realize that? Let me say that again. Price actions at $70,000 with the fear levels that they were last time we were at $25,000. The only thing that we should be scared of right now, the only downside real risk in Bitcoin is, can I be patient a little longer? This market is going to rip, and we should always be looking for the opportunity in bull trends to buy dips. And I'm not telling you to do that. I'm asking you strategy. Profits in the future are asking you, can you be patient? That's what this is about. We can see this in the chart right here. Fear down here. Look at how price is. Look. Excuse me. Last time. And then the last time fear was down here. Look at how much lower the price was. This tells us this is an opportunity zone. So let's take advantage of opportunity. Now moving on, because we got some charts we got to jump into here in a second. This is that beautifully charted chart from Kevin Svensson here, showing that no, people don't want this. They want up only. Sometimes max pain is sideways price action. Let me say that again. Sometimes max pain in any asset is price action moving sideways, pushing up, committing people long, reversing and crushing those longs that people going over leverage, coming back down. We can see this right here. Then that we also saw there's a lot of liquidations as this moved down. People go short. Then it reverses on those, liquidating all the shorts. So on and so forth until you find that equilibrium, until the bulls went out, until the bears lose their selling pressure. Also because we have a diminishing supply and an increasing demand, thus sending Bitcoin to the upside. This is what we're being patient for right now, for the resolution to the eventual upside that will come at some point in Bitcoin. So let's be aware of that. It's not an exciting chart, but it's a realistic one. Altcoins likely to catch up to Bitcoin soon. This is a beautiful chart. This was that parabolic, push up. Lost it. Oh my God, it's all over. Chop sideways. Keep people committing long and short until eventually, boom, you see the RSI break out and signal that move to the upside. So how do you guys feel about that? Are you thinking or feeling like we're going to get a pretty big washout to the downside? Do you think we're going to get the move to the 54K? Do you think we're going to go deeper, 47, something like that? Or do you think that a little sideways chop and then up? I think this would satisfy a lot. 21 did not have a black swan, unless you're talking about the Chinese mining ban. There's a 2020 black swan with the global economic shutdown. But looking right here, remember, if you're worried about Bitcoin, is it a good asset? You can see on this chart right here. You can see on this graphic right here, Bitcoin has a larger market cap than the top 3 banks in the world combined. And you're wondering if it's a legitimate asset? My question is, how could any bank be a legitimate asset or a legitimate business when their entire business is based off of magic money printing, which is what everybody used to say about Bitcoin? Isn't that a funny sort of ironic fact? People initially hear about Bitcoin, they go, oh, I don't know, that's magic internet money, while they got all this magic printed Fed money in their bank account, which is why everything costs more every year. There's not 3% inflation. I've seen goods and services that I'm buying over the last 3 years up anywhere from 30 to 80%. The only thing that's increased in buying power in the last 10 years has been Bitcoin. You need fewer Bitcoin each cycle to buy bigger and bigger houses. That's a metric I can get behind. So let's be smart about where we're putting our money, because Bitcoin is proving itself to be the answer. Now, moving on here. We already talked about that. Now, we're getting into some good data here. I'm going to give you guys some signals about what's going on here. Before we do that, let's tie together the community. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. We got 41 likes. So 41 of you are appreciative of watching something free with a ton of great data that we spend hours and days and weeks and years of our lives putting together to make sure that we can bring you good content. So I appreciate all 91 of you that are here, but I really appreciate 41 of you that participate in something that we're offering for free here. We should all do that, especially if you like this kind of content. That's how YouTube knows to keep supporting and pushing this out in the algorithm to other people. So I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Let's appreciate some data on the charts though. But before we do that, I want everybody in here. Cool Breezy said, Kelly's a man. Every one of you are great people. Every one of you are forward thinkers. You're all here ahead of the world. Let's do this together as a community. I love you all. I appreciate you. Now, I want everybody drop a flag in here where you are tuned in from. If you are from the States, what state are you from? You can also, if you don't want to find the flag on the emojis, you can type it in. I'm curious where around the world everybody's from, because we have grown quite quickly over the last 6 months. Channel's been up for about a year and a half. We got over almost 53,000 subscribers on the channel. Community members, you're all community members. Where are you all tuned in from? I'd like to see where you're at. Now, looking back at these charts, this is something we got to pay attention to, because remember, we just had the Mt. Gox, the potential huge amount of selling pressure that could come in. We'll have to see how it is. But when this is spiking very high, this is very old coins being sold or moved to somebody else's custody. A coin that has been held for a long time. So let's say you have a coin that you've been holding for 3,000 days. That's 3,000 value days. If I sell you this coin and I trade out of it, then that coin, I lose 3,000 value days. So this metric is basically measuring, it's a visual graphic of how many older, when you're getting spikes in a lot of older coins moving. And I want you to take note of this, because this is a great metric to give you an idea of where you should be buying and selling. People that make money in assets, these are very long-term held coins, meaning they bought much lower. Look at where they're selling. Very old coins are selling into the strength of a bull trend. They're not looking to catch the absolute top, although we do get a big, fairly large spike here. But this is also because this is the blow off. So every coin on network is moving back and forth and so on and so forth. But look at this. Once we break previous all-time high, you start getting these large swaths of old coins moving. Similarly, right here, previous all-time high, right here. Then you get this bullish parabola pushing up, and you get old coins selling into that, selling into strength. You don't need to catch the absolute top. You don't need to catch the absolute bottom. You just need to sell into strength much above the price that you bought at. And you see how this is very bright green? It's because the only coins that are being traded are short-term held coins. So there's not many value days destroyed. So this means there's still coins being sold and still coins being bought. But if there's a long-term holder that buys, say there's people up here, say they bought down here, you have to realize they're buying from somebody. Old coins, people that have been holding on and they see this large move to the upside and then this, bear market. When you just saw the previous all-time high at 20,000, or in this case, 20,000, those old coins are not selling themselves down here. No, this is weak paper hands going, oh, I'm scared. And then they sell to people that have long-term conviction. This is what we want to pay attention to. So yes, did we see a pretty big spike here? Absolutely. But we also had a huge amount of price action to the upside that was more than we've ever seen in the past, being that we had the price action break previous all-time high before the halving. So there's a little bit of offloading. There's a little bit of, jockeying up, and these cycles are going to adjust and adapt over time. Yeah. Sack Nasty says, how about you fill my CME gap? They say mind the gap, right? So just pay attention to this. We also had these a lot of these coins that have been sitting parked in the Mt. Gox treasury or whatever, custody. A lot of that was moving. So this could also explain a lot of these old coins moving. So there's a lot to unpack here, but when we consider where we're at in the market cycle, look at how high these things go. Look at where we're at right now with the MVRV. This is the split of the price action of the tradable price action to the actual average price of every coin in circulation the last time it moved. If you don't understand all that, cool. Don't. Look at where this is at. Look at previous cycle back here. Look, we had this, butted our head up against this a few times. Look at where this price was at the previous all-time high. And then from that point, then you get this very strong aggressive move to the upside. This is really showing that parabolic move because the price is moving farther and farther away from the realized price, getting into a very overheated zone before we sold off. Now, this was quite a bit lower, but 2021, we did have that Chinese mining ban that really threw the market for a loop because then it caused a lot of minor sell pressure, a lot of uncertainty in the market, etc. So that's why we had this double top last cycle. That being said, I do expect more likely than not that we'll actually see this MVRV, this cycle when we, next year sometime when we get to the market cycle top, I do expect this will be above where this point is here. Similar to what we saw here. See this point, and then we got way above it. I think we're going to do the same thing this time. I do think we're going to have a very explosive time. Dizel said, I think more are worried about their altcoin bags than Bitcoin. You know what? I hear you. But we have to understand what's going on with Bitcoin to signal capital flow into altcoins. We're going to look at some altcoins here in a second, but I appreciate that comment. And I just want to shout out before we continue on, shout out to our channel sponsor, Arculus, powered by Sponsorless. Powered by Arculus, number one crypto cold storage solution out there. My favorite cold storage solution. One tap. Uses your biometrics. You got a PIN. You got your keys. Your keys are held off your phone. It's the most secure crypto wallet cold storage solution out there. One tap to buy, swap, trade, as well as store your crypto. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10, LAB10 for 10% off your crypto cold storage solution. Appreciate Arculus for all their support in the Hit Network family. Now, I want you to notice something. If we look at the BitLab trading stack, we are on the 4 hour. Yeah, we can do 4 hour or 6 hour. Notice this large rounding move. Little bit of a move to the upside. It feels like there's going to be a small, this dip is starting to matriculate here. But if I were to guess, I would think that this is going to be a fairly small momentum wave to the downside and a resolution up. Why? Because look how much deeper the stochastics came, which is the orange line. Look how much deeper, look at how deep the RSI has come, and it's starting to round already. We can see, we cannot yet see the VWAP rounding, but we're on the 6 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. VWAP rounded, RSI rounding, stochastics coming all the way down to, look at this, 5%, 4%, very deep here. And we're getting a lot of this sell pressure, which is why these bars are red on the momentum wave. But when we look at this in correlation with the price action, we talked about this, we're right at this level. This is going to be a key sort of signal to us. If price action does lose not only this trend line, this descending support line, but also this level here, then I'm looking for price action to have a wick down into the 55 level or potentially down to this 53. But we've talked enough about the TA on Bitcoin today. We need to talk about some altcoins. We need to talk about what's going on there. If we do get a bounce here, this would be wonderful. But we're going to want to really watch price action at 63,590 up to 64,000. We've talked about that. I've covered it a lot. You can go back and watch yesterday's stream. The liquidity data is very similar to what we saw yesterday. We still have a lot of shorts. It's more expensive to go short, and open interest rising. So this is interesting, though, because the shorts are starting to diminish and the open interest is rising, which suggests that there could be some longs layered in there as well. So we're going to have to keep vigilant on what's going on here. We talked about the TOTAL3, this rising wedge that broke down, came right to the target. When we drew this target. Price action, the metrics came right down into the zone. We're getting a little bit of a roundingness here if we can maintain this higher low. If we do push down here, this would spell a huge downside for the alts. But I do think strong bullish action on the altcoin market is going to be very soon. Let me double check. I have not been paying attention. I don't have this. Where's my mouse? I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats or any memberships. Okay, cool. I did not. Good. I just don't like missing it. If you guys have like a coin request or, this particular question, if you super chatted, I always want to make sure I answer it and get to it. Ethereum is still in this chop zone. Remember, yesterday we talked about this with this pushing up, potentially coming back to the zone. If we lose this, coming down into this box, this is where we're at. Almost at the exact spot I placed. I didn't change anything on here. I just opened this chart up for the first time right now with you for today. But we see the stochastics are trying to give a signal of a potential attempt to the upside. In addition to the fact that we have candles, expansion here. See this? Spinning top, meaning basically equal wick up, equal wick down, small body. And then we got a little, almost a doji candle, which is almost no body, but with the little tiny wicks, basically neutral. We're seeing an attempt potential for a move to the upside. If Ethereum does move to the upside, we have to contend with this zone right here, which is this low. But I would be looking more at about right here because we have this bounce, this candle body. This is where I'd be looking. If we do get a move up, it doesn't mean that it's just the reversal's in, it's up. We want to see this reversal push up to here, have maybe a little hesitation, but actually break through this as a signal that, the bulls are trying to be back in charge. But there's so much patience going on right now with everything regarding the Ethereum spot ETF. So let's not get ahead of ourselves and be worried if we get, any chop either direction right now. I think right now really is a patient zone. The reversal is brewing. It just might not happen today. We got Jerome Powell spoke yesterday. We got other data coming out today. We have a U.S. bank holiday tomorrow. I don't know how many people. Friday's not necessarily a holiday, but there's a lot of people that are going to take it off and make it a 4-day weekend. So there's a lot of sort of questionability about volume in these markets and how many people are actively going to be sitting there trading, and which also gives bigger room for big swings to happen in the market when there's not a lot of volume to defend buy and sell orders. I'm a sitting on my hands kind of guy from now through Monday next week. Going into Monday, Tuesday next week, I do think that we'll start getting signs about the true direction that's picked. And we have to pay attention to all these other things happening with XRP, their case potentially ending. There's a couple speculations about the XRP case being, sort of wrapped out around the middle of July or the end of July. We also have the Solana ETF applications that may start flooding in, especially if BlackRock is looking like they may be doing it. Is that going to happen this month? Maybe next. But then we also have, Ethereum spot ETF decision. We have the different discussions around what's happening with the different Fed speakers. Every time they talk, everybody's so hyper-focused on the tonality. Are they getting closer to rate cuts or not? There's so much on the line right now, and I'm so excited about this market. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's, if you're meme coin trading, by the way, I do have a discussion today at 1:00 with a new partner on the channel that's going to make some really exciting things happen that we can offer to all of you all. some trading stuff and for it's some really cool stuff. So stay tuned for that. And we're also, I got another thing I'm going to share I'm going to start. I'm kind of going onto the meme coin bandwagon, and I'm not saying as an investor, I'm saying as if you got $30, $20, $100 on a weekend, you could sit and literally, I was doing this the other day. Josh was doing it this morning as well. I was like, dude, I was just doing that. Not investing in meme coins, but going in and basically finding a chart that looks like it's having a regularity of price action. And you just go in with the Telegram trading bots. And you basically, it's literally, you put in the contract address and you can just trade the ranges. And the ranges tend to be pretty big swings. So you could turn $100 into $200 just sitting there while you're watching TV and not risking your capital. And that's something I want to share with you guys and show you how to do it. And it's like crack, I tell you. But you just have to make sure, and I have to share it with you all, because other people are trying to get you guys to go absolute full degen and no, there's a smart way to do it. And there's an easy way to go through and actually protect your risk while also having a lot of learning. It really hyper accelerates your understanding of trading as well. Seth Shepard, are you in Discord? That's what Alexander G says. But by the way, shout out. We do have a Discord and a BitLab YouTube member. Become a member now if you're not. On the Discord, on YouTube, right below the video. If it says, if it doesn't say subscribe, hit that subscribe button. If there's a join button there, join, become a member here. You get access to the private member streams. We're doing one this evening, a later one than we normally do, with Drew himself. I cannot spell Discord. There we go. We're doing it this evening at 8 p.m. You can see right here, if you're in the BitLab Discord, right up here where it says event, click there, come in here, and I'll share this again right now just for everybody. Boom, boom, boom. Fam time, members, stream, later night tonight, 8 p.m. East time with Drew from Blockchain Basement. RSVP here. Boom. I cannot type when you're looking at me. So get in on that if you are in the Discord. If you're in the BitLab members, if you're a BitLab member, make sure you come over here and click on community, and you will see I'll be posting the link in here on this community tab. Make sure you got the bell ding to make sure you are subscribed. And also, if you want to go a little bit deeper, if you want to get in the Discord as well, head over to lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. You can see the link right there on the bottom of the screen right now, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. Join us there. It's a great way to help support the channel. And also, same thing, if you join as a BitLab member, we appreciate you as well. It's a great way to support the channel. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. I'm going to be running from now. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Have a wonderful 4th of July. I think I'm going to do a quick video tomorrow. I'm going to be Bobby Flay tomorrow at the barbecue that we're doing. I'll be cooking up ribs. I'm cooking up some steak. I'm cooking up chicken. I'll share some of that, some footage of that with you guys. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. Love each other. Love yourselves. Be patient with others. Be patient when you make mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Always be ambitiously curious. Let's grow together. I love you. That's all I got. Adios. Adios, muchachos.